Hi Quilty friends, welcome back to the Frosty quilt. Okay, this section covers steps 1 through 11 at the bottom of page 2. And as you can see, I have marked here what exactly my sizes are and what kind of pieces of fabric they are. So if the sizes weren't marked, I marked them, and on some of them I changed it if I was using a different fabric. Okay, so this is what we're going to make, the hooked candy cane section. Okay, it goes right next to Frosty's face, which you should have Frosty's face all finished. Okay, we need lots of pieces for this. Out of the background, we need a 4.5 by 3. We also need a 1.5 by 1.25, which is just a tiny little piece. We need a 3 by 2.5. We need a 1 by 3.5, which is a skinny piece. And then we need half of a 2-inch square. All right, remember just 1/2 because we're going to use the corner pop ruler here. We'll be using the 3/4 markings on the corner pop ruler. Okay, so what we're going to do first is sew this to this, and then this to this, and then we'll deal with the corner pop. So let's sew these few together and get them looking the way they're supposed to look. Remember, a 1/4-inch seam, but I can't emphasize enough, this really has to be scant 1/4 inches. You can't be generous with these 1/4 inches at all, or nothing's gonna fit together. So keep your raw edges right together and keep a scant 1/4 inch seam. Okay? Now, our directions tell us that we should press this toward the background. So we're going to go this way. Let's get rid of some of these threads. All these threads are messy. Okay. So now towards the background. No, that's towards the stripe, isn't it? Going the wrong way. The arrow points that way, towards the stripe. So let's do that. Okay, again, another place that you'll lose fabric and things won't fit together is if you don't get nice, crisp folds there. Okay, so this piece is going to go here. Let's get rid of all these. And now this piece should fit to this piece. Now we're going to sew this. Again, our edges right together. Really a scant 1/4 inch. Okay, and our directions tell us, don't really tell us, do they? But my instinct tells me I'm going to press this direction so that I don't have to press this back on itself. Okay, that's how that piece goes. Now we have to deal with this piece. And the most important thing here is notice the orientation of where the corner popped corner is, okay? So remember, this is 1/2 of a 2-inch square cut on the diagonal, and this is your 1.5 by 3.5 inch piece. And we're going to corner pop this corner because we want this to look like the hook of the candy cane. So one thing you can always do is you can take and put an X on the corner that you want to get rid of. That way you won't, or some kind of mark, doesn't matter. That way, because that doesn't look much like an X, does it?
That's okay.
Okay?
You get the idea.
Okay, and we're going to use the 3/4 markings on here. So I've got to find my 1/4 inches. Here. Okay, 1/4 inch. I'm going to use this and this. So that's the corner I'm going to cut away.
So you're going to put that over your knot and X.
That's right. I'm going to put that over my whatever it is. Looks kind of like an H.
Yeah.
Which, that was my attempt at an X. Okay, line it up really nice and straight. And then take that corner off. Okay, we can throw away the piece that has our little X on it, and now right sides together. And then I always go from this side because it's easier for me to see here that I've got about an equal amount of triangle on each side. And you don't have to measure it, but you want it kind of centered. Okay? Now, usually with this, you don't need to be quite as scant. So I'm going to see just a little bit of fabric over here on my edge. Where before I didn't see any, it was all underneath the foot. Okay? Get rid of my threads. And now I'm going to press this open because I'm going to use that corner pop ruler on it. And since I have to put the ruler right on top of it, I want to be sure that it lays as flat as I can get it. So nice and flat. Okay, now we have to use this corner. And I'm going to be doing the 3/4 of an inch right there between the 1/2 and the 1. And that's what I'm going to use to line this up. So I'm going to put that 3/4 mark on there. And pretty much my edges should be lined up with the edge of my ruler. Okay. Remember, these rulers aren't as non-slip as some of your other ones. I have Invisigrip on here, but it doesn't always help as much as I'd like it to. All right, so now I've got that done, and that's going to go here, so I'm going to add that. Okay, and I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew from this side because then I can make sure that stays open and this will naturally stay down. So I'm going to sew from this side, get my edges right together. Okay. Now again, back to your really scant 1/4 inch. You can't be generous or things aren't going to fit together. It really doesn't want to cut the threads for me.
You use it too much.
That is true. We do use them a lot. All right. And looks like they're telling you to do this, but I'm going to press this seam open. I'm going to make my own decision here because it doesn't match up to anything. And quite honestly, I've got all kinds of seams in here, so I can't get rid of any bulk. It'll lay flat or pressed open. Okay, there's my hook portion. All right, now I have to add this one more little piece here, okay, to square it up and make it as big as this piece. So I'm going to put right sides together, and I'm going to sew from the side with the seam so I can be sure they stay open. And I'm going to add this piece. And we're getting there. But don't forget, you got to make 13 more. So the 1 went together quickly. But you got a few more to make. So we need 14 snow. I'm going to start over. My edges are not coming together. I can see it. Let's try one more time.
I feel like we should be playing Frosty the Snowman in the background.
Yeah, we probably should. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Except we don't really want it to snow, do we?
No.
No, I'm not ready for that. I'm ready for the fall weather. I'm not ready for winter.
Yeah. I'm never ready for winter.
Nah. Could do without. Okay, make sure this stays open. Make sure my edges stay together. Give this cutter one more try. There,
Oh.
I hold it right. Okay. I'm going to press this toward this gray piece, the background piece, because then those will stay nice and flat. Again, be sure that you're not leaving any folds. You want this piece to be the right size when you're done. Okay. Last step is to add it to this 4.5 by 3 rectangular background. And we are going to have this piece all made. Which is the whole center section of the block. Again, remember, raw edges together. And this last seam we're going to press toward the whole background piece. It's going to go this way. Okay, and I would take this off and redo it because I didn't keep my edges together here and here. So I would take this off and move this over. The one thing about this is no seams are very big, so it doesn't take you very long to rip them out. So I would take this off and move this over. And then that's this piece, which will get sewn to Frosty's face, which is what we finished in the last video. This will go here, and this is the whole center section of the block. And we already have a hat. So all we have left is this little bit here. So when you get these done, come on back and we'll do that last part.
Should they sew these 3 together or
Not
yet?
You are going to sew this to this. I'm not going to do it in the video because I would take this out and move it over, but you'll sew it to this and that's how it will look. And I would press it open because you have seams on both sides. So press that seam open and then that's your center section.